Sir, the funding that Hezbollah gets from Iran, is Iran going to have to cut that off to do a deal with you?
Yeah, they'll have to cut that.
That's a must for you.
Yeah, sure. That's a must, yeah.
So part 2. Now the Q&A gets interesting. Stock markets hitting records during a war, oil production beating Saudi Arabia and Russia, and a prediction market scandal. Trump takes questions on economy, Iran, Russia, prediction markets. He boasts about the economy and answers questions about Russia potentially coming to G20.
Mr. President, apparently there was a special forces soldier who was involved in the capture of Venezuelan President Maduro, who was arrested by federal authorities today on suspicion of insider trading and betting on Polymarket. Are you concerned that federal employees are betting on these prediction markets and potentially getting rich?
Well, I don't know about it, but was he betting that they would get him or they wouldn't get him?
It sounds like he was betting on his removal from office, that Maduro would be removed.
That's
It sounds like he was involved in the operation.
That's like Pete Rose betting on his own team. It's a little like Pete Rose. Pete Rose, they kept him out of the Hall of Fame because he bet on his own team. Now, if he bet against his team, that would be no good, but he bet on his own team. I'll look into it, yeah.
There are also bets that are being placed as well on the Iran conflict too, and there have been some trackings where people suspect that there's insider trading happening on these prediction markets around the war.
If this makes you think, hit like and subscribe and comment your thoughts.
Are you concerned about that?
The whole world, unfortunately, has become somewhat of a casino. And you look at what's going on all over the world, in Europe and every place they're doing these betting things. I was never much in favor of it. I don't like it conceptually, but it is what it is. No, I think that I'm not happy with any of that stuff, but they have all these different sites. They have predictive markets. It's a crazy world. It's a much different world than it was. Please.
We talked about the Fed's renovation. Can someone other than the Justice Department find out the things you said you wanted to learn?
Well, good. I mean, look, it's pretty easy. When you look with Jerome Too Late Powell, I have a real problem because he should have been lowering interest rates a long time ago. And despite that, we fought through it, and we have the greatest economy we've ever had. You take a look, I mean...
Here's what's interesting. Stock markets at record highs during a war. That's not normal, but it's showing strength.
I don't know what the market is today, but we've broken every record over the last few days. And this is during a military operation or war, whatever you want to call it. It makes no difference as far as I'm concerned. But we have this unbelievable economy. The S&P has a new record. The Dow is right at a new record. We already broke the record with the Dow. People said it wouldn't happen in 4 years. They said in 4 years it won't be able to be possible to break 50,000. And we broke it with the Dow. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that we're breaking it constantly, even now, during this conflict. Because when we broke it, I called a lot of the people here. I called JD, I called Marco, I called Howard, I called Scott. I said, I hate to tell you fellas, but we have to do a little bit of a detour. We have to go to Iran and make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon. We had just broken every financial record. And the amazing thing is we continue to break them even during the war. Now, fuel went up, but I thought it would have gone up much more. And a lot of ships are coming to the United States, and they're using the United States instead of the Hormuz Strait. Amazing things are happening. Our country is amazing. You know, we don't have an oil shortage. We drill, baby, drill. We are right now producing more oil than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Did you know that?
This is a win. Oil production up. We're energy independent, even during conflict. We are producing more oil than anyone.
More, and in about a year from now, we'll be doing double the level. And Venezuela has been fantastic. We have a great relationship with that country and with the people that are running the country. And we're taking in millions of barrels of oil, millions and millions from Venezuela. It's been a great experience, to be honest with you. And they're doing a very good job, and they have our backing. Okay.
Mr. President, you said that
Can you just clarify again what exactly?
Here we go. Listen to this.
No. Just because the world is watching.
Just clarify. Here we go. Here's his bomb.
What have the two sides agreed to here? A 3-week ceasefire with the hope that the leaders come and meet?
Yeah, 3 weeks. And the leaders will most likely be coming here during that time. And I think when they do, that's a very historic meeting. They haven't met for many, many years, as I understand it. They've never met. Think of that. They're next to each other. They're great people. and they've never met. This should be an easy one, okay? Good question.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank
The
you.
law,
Just wanted to clarify.
the Lebanese law, we can't communicate with Israel. What we can do about this law? Like, if we talk with Israel, it will be a crime for us as Lebanese. And this is a question on behalf of
How
all
is it a
Lebanese.
crime?
And the Lebanese law, it's a crime. They put you in
Well, I
jail.
think we have to end that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something we're gonna have to end. I'd never heard of that. But that's a good start. It's a crime to talk with Israel. Well, I'm pretty sure that that'll be ended very quickly, okay? I'll make sure of that. And I know Lebanon doesn't want that. We'll end up, will you work on that, please, everybody? That's crazy.
The ship,
Mr.
that was,
President.
the ship that was captured on Monday, you said there was a gift for the Iranians in it. What was that in that ship? The one from China?
Yeah, well, we have, that's very top secret. Yeah, there was some in there, but it's top secret.
Have you
I'd like to-
talked
I'd like
to President Xi about it?
That's
Have you talked to Xi
one of
about
those
it?
little questions, where, oh, this is not good. No, it's, we have a lot of things that we got. You know, that the strait, what we've done with the blockade is amazing, and nobody gets through. And nobody wants to get through, nobody's trying. The one tried, they shut out the engine, but nobody's trying. We have complete control. Now, they can drop their mines in there and do all those stupid things. It's just gonna take longer for them to make money, because the mines are gonna affect them much more than they're gonna affect us. But, and we don't know that they're doing that, but they could be that they're not. If they're doing it, it's a very foolish thing to do. Just like for Iran to shoot at Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar, and Kuwait, Bahrain, all the different places they shot. Nobody expected that. They thought they'd shoot at Israel, in all fairness, but you didn't expect they'd be shooting at numerous other countries. I think it was a big mistake. If they're putting mines down, it's a big mistake for them, I will say.
Are you angry at China for what they sent Iran?
No.
So there's some reporting today that
I guess we do the same thing, don't we? With other countries. You know, it's like one of those things, but nothing that it wasn't earth-shaking. Yeah.
there's some reporting today, sir, that you tend to invite Vladimir Putin to the G20 in Miami. Is that the case?
No, but if he came, it would be probably very helpful. You know, I've said a long time ago, when they made the G8, the G7, they threw Russia out before my time. That was Obama and a certain prime minister from a place called Canada, it's Trudeau. And I said, that's a stupid thing to do. And I was right. You know, I go to these meetings of the G7, and about 90% of the meeting was talking about Russia and what's going on with Russia. And I said, why'd you throw them out? You know, if they didn't throw them out, they would have been much better off, in my opinion. You know, it should have been the G8. But when they threw out President Putin, he was very offended by that. He was, you know, rightfully, but he was very offended by that. I venture to say you probably wouldn't be having these problems if you didn't throw him out. Okay?
So he's not coming to the G20, as far as you're
Not that I
concerned?
know of, but
Because there are senior administration officials being quoted in news reports this afternoon that says the Russians are being invited to at least ministerial
Well,
meetings. at
you're
the
saying
G20.
being invited as opposed to coming. I don't know of the invitation, but if he were invited, I don't know.
Would you like him to
Hey,
come?
I'm
You're
of
head
the
of the
opinion that you talk to everybody. I'm not one of these guys saying, oh, let's not talk to him. You know, there's a war going on. Let's not talk to him. I like talking to everybody. If you're a smart person, if you have control over your emotions and all the other things you need control of, I'm somebody that believes in talking. I don't know of that. I don't know that he's coming. I doubt he'd come, to be honest with you. I sort of doubt he'd come. But we're working on trying to get that one solved. That would be number 9. I've ended 8 wars.
He says he ended 8 wars. That's a bold claim. But we're still in Iran situation, still dealing with Russia. Let's see what happens.
And that one is, but they continue to fight. The hatred between him and President Zelensky is extraordinary, I can tell you.
Can I ask you a FIFA question, sir? What do you think of this idea of replacing Iran with Italy in the World Cup?
I don't think about it too much.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. Let me give it. You know what? Let me give that a little thought. That's a very, is that what they're doing? They're thinking about replacing them?
Apparently it's a proposal.
Let Marco make his poly.
Marco, could you make a statement on that, please? What do you think of?
There's nothing from the U.S. has told them they can't come. I mean, the problem with Iran, it would be not their athletes. It would be some of the other people that we want to bring with them, some of whom have ties to the IRGC. We may not be able to let them in, but not the athletes themselves. But no one's, I don't know where that's coming from, other than speculation that Iran may decide not to come, and then Italy would fill their spot. But that's, if they decide not to come on their own, it's because they decided not to come. What they can't bring is a bunch of IRGC terrorists into our country and pretend that they're, journalists and athletic trainers.
Sir, is the government going to
We would
buy,
not want to affect the athletes.
is the government going to buy a stake in Spirit Airlines?
So Spirit is an airline that's had some trouble. They were going to merge with People Express, or one of them, a number of years ago, and Barack Hussein Obama decided it was a bad idea. How did that work out? It's bad for both of them. That would have been a natural merger. Not United and American, but Spirit and the other. We're looking at helping them. We have 18,000 people that live in this country that are great people and great employees, and we're thinking about doing it, helping them out, meaning bailing them out or buying it. I think we just buy it. We'd be getting it virtually debt-free. They have some good aircraft, they have good assets, and when the price of oil goes down, we'll sell it for a profit. I'd love to be able to save those jobs. I'd love to be able to save an airline. I like having a lot of airlines, so it's competitive. So we are looking at Spirit. It's in a bankruptcy. It's in bankruptcy court, and we're looking if we could get it for the right price. I'd do it to save the jobs, and we have somebody that wants to run it, do a good job, smart person. And if they run it properly and if prices come down, all of a sudden it's a valuable asset. And they have some very good slots too, which are pretty valuable.
You will visit Lebanon and visit Ambassador Isa to the embassy because we're building a huge U.S. embassy in Lebanon. Are you going to plan to launch it or open or attending for the opening?
You want to answer that?
Well, we're working on it. It's not done yet, but once it's done, I will ask the president to come and cut the ribbon.
We'd love to
I have no objection to that. Go ahead.
In the UK today, they've just announced a total of $1.3 billion in returns from digital service tax, which you in the past have called an unfair tax on American companies. You know it very well. You previously called for investigations, but so far as we can tell, there has been none. Would you call for that?
So what tax is this?
A digital service tax is the kind of nicknamed the tech tax or big tech tax that kind of.
They're going to put a tax on basically American companies.
It's already there, sir.
Did you say the UK?
Yes, sir. They made $1.3 billion last year. So is that something you would kind of investigate, call for it to be scrapped, have a look at?
We don't like it when they target American companies, because basically you're talking about our great American companies. Whether we like those companies or don't like them, they're American companies, and they're the top companies in the world. And we've been looking at it. UK did it, a couple of other people did it. They think they're going to make an easy buck. That's why they've all taken advantage of our country. They don't take advantage of it. No, we've been looking at it, and we can meet that very easily by just putting a big tariff on the UK, so they better be careful. If they don't drop the tax, we'll probably put a big tariff on the UK.
What can they expect, 5%, 10%, something similar to what you've done before?
More than what they're getting. They shouldn't be doing that. All that's doing is really targeting great companies, but they're our companies. It's like us targeting their companies, which we could do very easily. But you don't have big companies like that. You don't have those great companies. Not fair. I have an obligation to protect our companies. That's how they became great. And they become great during my administration. My first 4 years, we had the best economy in history in my first 4 years. And this will blow it away. Look at it. During a war, we have the highest stock market. During a war, it's not a big war for us, but it's a war. And during a war, we have the highest stock market. I have to protect this country, so if they want to do the service tax, France did it also, and some others. And literally I have a meeting after this having to do with that exact question. And what we'll do is we'll reciprocate by putting something on that's equal or greater than what they're doing. And they won't be happy about that. No, that's enough. You've asked so many.
Mr. President, I emailed the Virginia Department of Elections earlier today and asked them if they had seen any evidence of election tampering or fraudulent mail ballots being cast in the Tuesday election, or if there was any evidence of non-citizens voting in that election. Why did you say that that election was rigged?
Well, you have mail-in ballots, and they found a lot of them at the end of the day. All of
They
a
said that
sudden.
they have received no credible information related to those
Well, I know
questions.
you'd say that no matter what. You know, you've been saying that for years, and now they're finding out that the 2020 election was totally rigged. And when you
Where's
look
the
at what
evidence
just,
of that?
excuse me, how do you defend what just happened where your Southern law, whatever it is, has given money to KKK? They're supposed to protect people, and they're paying all these people, crooked as can be, millions of dollars going all to all these people that they're supposed to be protecting from, but they're actually supporting them because they want to have companies that they can protect and because they want to rig elections. That was all a rigged election.
But
All
what's
of the
that to do
things
with
with
rigging?
Charlottesville, all of the stuff that they did, and you won't bring that up, but you'll bring up some nonsense. Let me tell you, the election, we were winning all day long. It's a totally horrible situation. Hopefully the courts will overturn it, what they did in Virginia. You have a grossly incompetent governor. You had a very good governor, he did a good job. You know, all those companies that want to move into Virginia now, they want to move out and go to a different location. So that's my opinion. I believe it was a rigged election. Virginia's known for it. It was a rigged election. They had a lot of ballots, mail-in ballots. Anytime you have mail-in
The Department of
ballots,
State says
anytime you have mail-in ballots,
didn't
you have
happen,
cheating.
though.
Did you have something?
That's the thing. The economy is strong, markets up, oil up, but there's still work to do. Progress, but not finished. The economy is winning, but watch the details.
Yes, you said that the U.S. will work with Lebanon to protect itself from Hezbollah. What does that look like exactly?
What is that?
You said that the U.S. will work with Lebanon to protect itself from...
Well, we're just going to work with them. I mean, we have a good relationship with Lebanon. It's amazing that,
But is it...
you know, it's the amazing thing is they actually have sort of a good relationship with Israel, and they don't deal with each other, but now they're going to deal with each other. We're putting them together.
What's the material support that you intend to
We're going to
provide?
help. We're just going to help them. We're going to help them. They're great people. It can be a really good country again, maybe a great country again. And I think you have all the ingredients, so we're going to work together. And I think Israel's going to be terrific. But they do have a common problem. It's Hezbollah. Okay, a couple of more.
Some House Republicans are saying that they don't want to vote for a bill that just has the Homeland Security funding. Would you support them expanding that to include other tax and defense measures?
Well, I'd love to see one thing. You know what that is? Save America. I'd love to see the Save America Act, which is voter ID, which is proof of citizenship, which is, by the way, no mail-in voting, which is a fraud. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you're going to have a fraudulent election. But I'd leave it for military, you know, mail-in voting for military, for people that are sick, for people that are traveling, like business or whatever, different things. But disability, where they have a problem. But no mail-in ballots. We added a couple of things. No men playing in women's sports. It's unrelated, but it's a popular thing. And no transgender mutilization of our children. So that's it. Thank you very much, everybody.